And this is Gay Talk with B. It's Sunday. How you guys doing? Hope you guys had an awesome week like me. Today ends up the summer for most kids. They're all starting school tomorrow. And just want to give a words of encouragement for all the kids and the youth and any parents out there, who are going through, the similar situation where we're sending our kids back to school or whether choose to virtually teach them. Like I posted this morning, I want everybody to start that blueprint in their life, exactly what they want. That's what I've been teaching my children. That's what I've been teaching them, asking them each day. And as an adult, we should ask ourselves those same things. What do we really want out of life? What do we really want to be? What do we really want to become? And how will we get to that point? All the little steps in between, no one really discusses the steps in between. It's usually from I want to be this to that, or as a kid I want to just finish high school and get into college, but we're not telling our children the steps that it takes to get into those colleges, as well as we're not telling ourselves the steps to get into that next goal. So speaking first to the children, I just want all the kids that are going back, especially the high schoolers. I have a high schooler, two high schoolers, and we took them on their first college tour, and we are in expressing the importance of knowing exactly what you want to do. We all know school isn't for everyone as far as school, after school, college. So if that is not the plan for most kids or for you, I would suggest that you find a great trade skill. Find something that you can tap into now, whether it's being a business owner or something that you can grow into. But just make sure you have a plan. I have a high schooler and she's not really sure exactly what she wants to do. But like I told her, build that blueprint. Sit down at the table, go deep into your mind and your heart and express exactly what you want to be done. How do you want to get to that goal? What is it going to take for you to achieve it? Whether it's, extracurricular hours, whether it's community service, whether it's applying for scholarships, whether it's applying to the great schools. What are you going to do to make sure that you fulfill that goal? As parents, we step in so many times in our kids' lives to try to save them or to try to put that extra inside of them. But those are the things that's called survival skills that we have to make sure our kids have. They have to have that ability to tap into it themselves. Unfortunately, we can't plan the world. Unfortunately, we can't plan when our time is coming or going. For example, like I said, my mom passed when I was 9 years old, and we never seen it coming. I didn't see it coming. So that gave me a life of having to plan those goals and those blueprints and those marker points of how I'm going to get there for myself. Thank God I had my grandmother, say, for financially and responsibility wise, but for goal setting, I did it on my own. And that's what I tell my kids. Make sure you have a plan for yourself, because your parents, your friends, your mentorships, your teachers, your peers, they can't tell you how to get to that goal. You can only tap into that survival skill of really, really wanting it into your life to really achieve it. You have to believe it. I can't, do all the college applications and then you have this college interview and do the interview for you. You now have to be the face of you. You have to be the face of your goals. You have to be the face of what you want to manifest into your life. And if you continue to tell your children that, and kids, if you continue to tell yourself that, you will manifest that. It won't be a later point in your life where you decide, I know exactly what I want, and here you are, past post college age, and it's harder to go back the second time. Like I tell my kids, it was harder for me to go back this time. That's why I ran into so many obstacles. But I want to make sure that you guys get it right the first time. You guys are getting it right whenever you need to get it right after high school, And then for my middle schoolers, I encourage them to even start setting the path of understanding what you want. So it's a difference between knowing and understanding what you want. Once you know what you want, you already past the point of understanding the things that needing to get to that point. When you're in middle school, you're just starting to understand, wow, I'm not longer in elementary. No one's holding my hand anymore. It's up to me to get these grades. It's up to me to be something. It's up to me to manifest what I want. And that's why I'm teaching my two middle schoolers. What do you guys want? Understand what you want. My son wants to play sports. Okay, if sports doesn't work out or if that scholarship doesn't come through, what is your next goal? My youngest daughter, same thing. She's into sports. How are you going to make it to that first champion, game? How are you going to be that, Olympic player that you want to be in middle school? How can you start that goal now? And all the way down to my 4-year-old, Legend. How are you going to make sure you manifest the goals that you needed to be for pre-K? Are we going to behave? Are we going to learn the things that we're supposed to learn? That way we could be prepped for kindergarten. So the learning never stops into your kid's life, and the encouragement never stops on your end. It just comes to a point where you want to make sure that they're manifest what they want, and we're not manifesting what the idea of what we want into their lives. Because that's what we have to understand. Our kids are going to be our kids around us all day. But once we send them to school, and once they get around their peers, even if they're not going to school, even once they get online talking about different things with their peers and their friends, they become different kids. And that's something that parents have to understand. Our kids are not going to be our kids around us, when they're not around us. That's just the bold-faced reality of kids. We all did it. We all took our parents into consideration. We hear them in the back of our head, but sometimes we choose to do exactly what we want to do. So you want to make sure what they're doing and what you're teaching them is aligning up to the same point of reaching that goal. Like I tell my kids, be kids, have friends, have fun, but put your goals first. Put who you are first, because that's going to manifest anything that you need into your life. Your friends can't do it. Like my daughter, she wants a job now. She turns 14 on Tuesday. How are you going to get that job? Okay, I'm going to apply for this job. Are you ready for the interview? Are you ready for the schedule? Are you ready to get to the job? Because it may take public transportation. It may take you asking me, your grandmother, your stepfather, your father, your stepmom, someone to get you to this job. Are you ready for that responsibility? Because now you're detaching from me holding your hand until you enter into the real world. And now you're able to you're able to manage your own money. Are you ready for that? Because it comes with your own responsibility of making sure the things that you purchase and the things that you're signing yourself up for, you're able to pay those things with the budget you now have on your own. Not mommy's budget, but your own. Those are the things that we teach our children. I want to make sure that even as an adult, that we understand that in our lives as well, speaking on now us. Make sure that our goals aren't being lost, our dreams aren't being lost in the midst of our children or our peers or our employer, or our mentorships in our life. We're keeping our dreams alive for the sole reason of us. That's all we need to do. And if we could stay on that path, we have a path of greatness, because what happens is we start walking that path. We start doing those blueprints. We start manifesting those goals. We start understanding and knowing our goals. And that trickles to our children. They see it and they begin to walk in it. And that's why I always tell you guys, stick on your goals. Stick on what makes you happy, because if you're happy, your family's happy. They can see it in you. It makes them excited about starting their goals. But if you have that burden over your life, like, oh, I'm sick of school. Oh, I'm sick of this job. Oh, I'm tired of getting up. What do you think your kids are going to do when it's time to go to school? What do you think your kids are going to do when it comes to something that they don't want to do? They're going to give up and have that ability to think that this is a burden in my life. And anything that's a burden becomes a point where it becomes, I don't want to do it. That's what happened to me in high school. I didn't want to do it. And it set me back. Here it is, almost 6 years from college, just by thinking of that in high school. So it worked. I'm sorry, not say it works, but it actually it plays a big part in our life as an adulthood. And we don't want that in our children's life. So this is just a Sunday encouragement to make sure you teach your kids, you stay on your kids, and you encourage your kids this Sunday to make sure they're starting this year off great. And I love you guys, and this is Gate Talk. Thank you.